Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Everything Kratom, the podcast about anything and everything Kratom. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday morning, hoping all is well with you. Today, I wanted to talk about change. Specifically, the sort of change that requires a transition, or, like there's a huge transition happening in someone's life, and it's like going to a new school, or it's moving away from home, or it's breaking up with someone or getting together with someone, or like sorts of changes that I've heard people say before, like, oh, I'm going through a life transition right now that, I really want to do psychedelics. Like, I've heard a lot of people say, I want to trip because I'm experiencing a change in my life, a transition in my life, and that would help me reset or understand this new world I'm living in. And I'm not the sort of person who wants to do that, because I've already, like, when I'm going through a big enough transition in life where something huge is happening, I already feel like I'm tripping. Like, that's almost like the thing that is hard to grapple, is that, like, it's such a huge change. Things seem so off and foreign and not recognizable or comfortable or part of what I'm used to, that tripping doesn't really help me in those situations for the most part, although I have had a few occasions where that is the case, I guess, but that's not really what I strive for. I strive for balance and, like, finding some grounding, but to find the grounding in those situations, I don't need to go really sky high first. So for me, Kratom has been helpful, and I think that the way that it's been helpful is just that. It grounds everything for me. It makes everything come to a halt almost too, it like makes it so that I can sit there, I'm going through this transition, things are changing, I'm about to be, let's just say, like, I'm about to be moving to a new place. All right, and that means that I'm going to have to, like, make new friends, and it means that everything that I'm used to is just not going to be the same. Well, that's a lot to take in. I'm somebody who's a creature of habit. This is going to affect me a lot. And taking Kratom can help me get out of that mindset of just going around and around in my head of what this change will mean for me or might mean for me. Because essentially, you don't know. You don't know in a change like that what it means, what the new world is going to look like. Or at least for me, I don't, I think the unknown is part of the strangeness and the grappling with what's coming. And Kratom just, like, grinds to a halt every single thought process that keeps on whirling around in my head and says, you don't know, it's okay, just relax and just think about it, like, embrace it or don't embrace it, but, like, just sit back and let's see what you're thinking in a few minutes once you've had a minute to calm down in the corner, kind of a thing. I need that sometimes, and especially in those situations. And it's amazing how effectively it works for me in that situation. When I take Kratom, it could be any type of Kratom, red, green, white. One of those circumstances, there's something about it that seems to just hit the reset button or the pause button or the pause and then reset button. Have you tried turning your Wi-Fi off and on again? Kind of a thing. It does that for me, and it does it very quickly, and it does it so that I can, within usually 10 to 20 minutes, have a bit of a better outlook on what's going on, or at the bare minimum, not be overwhelmed by my own thought process to the point where I can't just, at the bare minimum, sit back and understand what I might be feeling or thinking about what's going on, because that's where our thoughts come from, right? Like, that's where our interpretation of what's happening to us in life comes from, is how we think about it. So if we're, like, stuck in a cycle, if I'm stuck in a cycle thinking about over and over again what I think this change is going to mean, that's going to become what I think of the change. But that's not really accurate, Like, I'm just thinking through this now. This is actually kind of interesting for me. The reason why Kratom's so helpful for me is because it disrupts this process that ends up creating a false narrative of what the change is. Does that make sense? I think that's what's happening with me in these situations. Right now, I'm not going through one of these life changes, but I was just thinking about it the other day. The sorts of changes that have happened over the years and how different my life is now compared to 10 years ago. And And I realized, like, sometimes I think Kratom has helped me in this very small way. That's the other thing. It's not like I take Kratom and there's like a ceremony where like this is going to be the day when I reckon with this transition. No, this is like, this happens over time, or it happens just immediately in that moment. But as a result of these moments where I can disrupt the bad thinking, or just the thinking that's just literally inaccurate to its core and doesn't represent the actual change. It's just what I think about what the change will be. When I have enough of those moments, or just one or two of them, that starts new thoughts. Like it helps me think about it in a more rational way. And the more times that I have situations where I'm thinking in a more rational way about it, the more that becomes the new narrative, which is, I don't know what this change is going to hold. I think this and I think that, and I've spent plenty of time dealing with those thoughts. You don't need to put any more time into those thoughts, and you don't need to keep thinking those things just so that you keep those thoughts alive, which is something I need to continue to learn. It's like, you are not a goldfish. You will not forget what you were thinking in 3 seconds from now. You will remember. You will be able to harness that again. If that ends up being the case, you've done your research mentally, like if this thing goes wrong the way that you're hoping it won't, at least you will have thought through it enough. But how about we also give you some time to think about what might go right? Or at the bare minimum, lots of bare minimums today. At the bare minimum, again, give you some time to just reflect on what the heck is happening at all. And, just take it for what it is. Maybe it's not a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe it's just a thing. And if it is just a thing, then you need some time to just sit with it. And Kratom can help me do that too. It can also help me just, let it go for a little while. If I need a break, from considering the change, or if the change has already happened. I've had moments where I've gone through a change and it's already happened and things aren't going as well as I had hoped. Kratom can also give me a break from that. It's not an escape from reality, of course. Anyone who takes Kratom would know it doesn't, make you escape reality. But what it does is give me a bit of a better cushion to sit on mentally while I'm thinking things through, and accepting the fact that things are hard sometimes. I mean, they just are. That's what it is. And isn't that something? But, here I am. And even those moments are important for me too. So anyway, thought I'd give my 2 cents on that, and how Kratom has been pretty helpful for me in these life transition moments that I'm talking about. But in no way, shape, or form does it help me like escape the moment of the transition that I'm living through, and in no way, shape, or form does it like give me like complete and total solace no matter what. Like it's just, it helps me sit back, relax, think about it, and then create a new narrative, and hopefully I have a bit more control over the next one. So I'll leave it there today, and we'll be back tomorrow. All right, everyone, take care, take it easy, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.